Happy 420, everyone. All right, everyone, what's happening out there? Welcome back to the 420 news. It's been a while. I almost forgot there how the intro went. Hope everybody's good out there. Anyway, get your comments there into the hot box, and we'll be sure to give you shout outs. I don't know if you noticed there. I was trying to highlight something in the 420 news world clock. I was a bit disappointed when I seen like that they referenced Ireland with Dublin. I was like, what's the story with Cork? Like, there should definitely Cork, shouldn't there? Shout out to everybody in the hot box over on Telegram as well. That's just a little bit of an ongoing joke there in Telegram. So if you're not in the Telegram hot box, then the link should be in the description of the show. Last time I checked, it was there anyway. But yeah, who knows? If it's not there, give me a shout and I'll get it there. It's in definitely the previous ones actually, so there you go, sorted. Who's out there in the comments? Adam O'Brien, what is happening? Bobby O'Brien. Oh, we got the two O'Briens there. Are you related, lads? What's happening? Hope you're all well, says Adam. Nice to get some 420 news from your good self, Martin. No, that's good to be back on here. As I say, we've a bowl of civil disobedience packed up here. We'll blaze into that before we explore what's going on out there in the cannabis world, I suppose. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to find some positive news. Just to give you a heads up, also, it'll be a brief show today. I didn't get an opportunity to fully prepare for a 420 news, unfortunately. And I'll be running back in to finish off dinner that's cooking. Joys of being a full time daddy. Enjoy it though. Oh, geez, really enjoy it. I'm very thankful too to be able to enjoy it. That's the piece that really kills me the most about what I do and like what I'm doing. Being on here, exposing myself, engaging in this kind of civil disobedience. It's like the thought of actually being taken away from my kids again. Because it wouldn't be the first time I've been held behind bars because of my convictions, around cannabis. And I suppose there's a little bit of a pun maybe intended there. But yeah, I'm fully like convicted to my beliefs that I shouldn't be criminalized for this, so much so that I actually found myself behind bars. Stopped showing up to court, refused to pay fines that they put in me, and they had no choice. I got a 2 month prison sentence that time. Served 5 days of it, but I was apologetic throughout that. I said it to him going in there. It's like I'm a prisoner against my own will. This isn't right. I was kind of trying to hunger strike the first day, but then it didn't really go well. I was just mentally on doing not well inside there. It was tough. But I'm ready if it happens a second time. I will definitely be standing much stronger and much more fully convicted to the path that will be ahead of me then if it happens. But anyhow, I see Solid Mind Digital out there as well. What's happening? It's been a while. Hopefully we get to catch up there again soon, buddy. Seeing you done really well above there on Electric Picnic. It's been so long since we've actually met up and had a chat. Solid Mind Digital, who is one of those founding members of the Patients for Safe Access, a person who holds a medical cannabis license too. Been always meaning to actually have a chat with you sometime in the past actually about that, how it's going and everything. But hopefully all is well anyway at the moment with you. Mr. Finnegan, what's happening? Live from the north side of Cork. Bye. I don't know, is that by the Lee? I was kind of reading it as bye. Thought you were taking the piss out of us there in Cork for a second. And he says, "How's Kenny?" I was being careful there. I didn't want to be slipping any names just in case Solid Minds Digital didn't want to be exposing himself. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to get my torch of freedom out of my pocket. Yeah, torch of freedom. A little. I wonder will we get focus? I hide my face. There we go. Yes, represent 420. There's my torch of freedom, and this is my tool of civil disobedience, guys. If you got them out there, feel free to join in. This is me in no way promoting the use of drugs either, guys. You know. YouTube demonetized me, apparently community standards. I violated them because I'm on here promoting drug use. Never would I ever. It's hard to think, something as benign as this, consuming a little bit of cannabis has caused, so much problems really in the world when you think about it. Like, how many people have actually been like dragged from their homes, doors knocked in by authorities who should be there to protect them, not even talking about the criminal gang violence that goes on with doors being knocked in, but it's insane when you really sit down and actually think about it. It's such a benign act what I'm doing here. And like when you begin to think about the resources that actually have gone into this over the period of time the cannabis of prohibition has existed, it's jeez, it would knock your socks off really when you think about it. Like it's absolute insanity really when you when it boils down to it. Let's hope, fingers crossed that Ireland will see an ending of cannabis prohibition here very soon. I don't know if people have been paying attention to the Oireachtas Committee and the discussions that have been going on there. Recently, we had the appointment of Gino Kenny as the chair of that committee. But the committee, I believe tomorrow is the final meeting of that committee, where they'll be wrapping it up. I think tomorrow's one, though, is actually not being streamed to the public, I believe. Again, I'm open to correction on that. Forgive me for not being totally prepared on it, but I do believe tomorrow's one is closed to the public, but I don't know how they actually describe that, but yeah, closed to the public is how I'm describing it. Baron, what's happening? He says 60-year-old smoking hash and weed since 14 years old, but labelled as a drug addict as at the doctors. What the fuck? Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane, the stigma that we have to face, really. When you think about it, like, consumption of cannabis really isn't any more different from daily consumption of coffee. Some people out there can't tolerate coffee. There's people out there, let's say, who might have a bad bladder, just as an example, or maybe who are sensitive to the effects of caffeine. Coffee for me, geez, when I'm drinking coffee, it makes me want to go toilet. Like, geez, I don't know if it affects you in the same way, but any morning I have coffee, I definitely visit the Jacks to take at least 10 P's. Like, it's crazy the effect that it can have on you in that regards. So if you're a person with a weak bladder, yeah, you can have coffee. Similar, like with cannabis, if you're a person who might have be predisposed to schizophrenia, then not only is there a higher risk of you using cannabis, but if you do use cannabis, there's a higher risk that it could initiate, that schizophrenia much earlier than what you might have naturally got into it. At least that's what the studies are showing. People who are predisposed to schizophrenia are actually much more likely to use cannabis, and that use of cannabis is much more likely to bring on some of those symptoms of schizophrenia. But yeah, that's cannabis prohibition for you. Let's see what's happening out there in the world of cannabis. Just quickly going to jump on over there to my Google Alerts. We've got a Google Alerts set up for cannabis. Cannabis news. Cannabis news in Ireland, to be more specific. So here is today's update on boom. There we go. No, let's go back to this one and boom. There we go. That's a bit better. So the news around cannabis, cannabis is being, again, here we look at the effects of cannabis prohibition. Cocaine, MDMA tablets, and cannabis herb worth over 270,000 in Dublin. Like, there's many places where you can go buy cannabis now across the world legally, and none of these places are you actually being like exposed to cocaine and MDMA tablets. You walk into a cannabis club over in the likes of Spain, something I've experienced firsthand. Not only is there a requirement of you to produce your idea when you're going in, proving your age, so again protecting minors. But when you go in there, it's only cannabis that they're selling and hash. That's it. Cannabis and hash. You're not going to be getting MDMA. You're not going to be getting cocaine, unless maybe there's somebody there who sells that illegally then, and they're doing this on their own back, you know. But again, that's a problem with cocaine prohibition. That's a problem with MDMA prohibition, you know. It's a problem overall when you boil it down to drug prohibition. Drug use is a natural behaviour of humans, and trying to control that is wrong. We should regulate that. We should ensure education around that, and we should, you know, protect people, especially minors, by putting in place in the regulations age limits. You know, but no, drug prohibition, unfortunately, it prevents effective education really around drug use and drugs, because at the moment the only education you get is like, you know, just say no. Or to be fair, you know, the HSE's one that they're coming out with now is start low, go slow. It's good, you know, it's great, but come on, guys, we've been doing that. The Students for Sensible Drug Policy, just for like an example. It was established in 2014 in CIT here in Cork. I believe it was actually established in UCC previous to that. Again, if Grams is out there, give us a shout out about when SSDP was originally established in the UCC here in Cork. I do believe it might have been 2012, but that was always something that we were pushing. I don't believe it was. I think it actually might have been the exact slogan: "Start low, go slow." I do believe that. Like, we were always recommending to people, hey, if you're unsure, you know, about what it is that you actually have, you know, take less. Take less. Wait till you come up a little bit. You know, take a little bit less than what you might have planned to do. And you know, if you're supposed to come up after 45 minutes, and you find after 45 minutes you haven't come up, maybe don't take the rest of that. Like, you know, maybe. Or maybe take a little bit more and wait another 45 minutes. But that was always the advice that we were given as Students with Sensible Drug Policy. I would love to know how much the HSE paid to come up with that slogan. I would love to know, and how much they paid for the, you know, the snails and all of that crack, like, you know, the go slow snail. I would love it, because when you think about like the recent drama around the Irish government, they paid like over the odds for a bike shelter. A bike shelter that apparently only one TD was going to use, because there's only one TD apparently who cycles. But anyhow, I think they paid like, was it more than $250,000? Was it almost 400,000 or something? It was something insane anyway, absolutely insane. But yeah, to start this, the go slow snail. Again, how much would we as taxpayers have to pay for that? Again, you know, on top of the fucking cost of prohibition, man. Oh, I could go on all day. I could rant all day about this, but look, I'm not here really. I don't want to be ranting about this, but unfortunately, it's another fucking ill effect of cannabis prohibition or drug prohibition. You got me ranting and raving on here about drug prohibition. Let's pack another bowl, maybe. What's going on out there in the next one? Enormous error of judgment here. Single mum from Canada jailed for smuggling cannabis into Ireland. Jeez, there's one for you. This is news to me. I hadn't heard of this, but again, this is only today's news. So let's click into this. Let's see what happens here. So forgive all of this crap here popping up. Reject all. Boom. Yeah, whatever. So Dublin Circuit Criminal Court heard that a drug dog had given an indication on her bags, and when they were searched, 30 vacuum-packed bags of cannabis herb with a value of €270,460 were found. So quite a significant value when placed on that. But guys, just keep in mind, when the Irish authorities intercept cannabis over here, they don't like differentiate between bulk values and street values. That is street value. That is €20 a gram that they're valuing here. And again, they probably weighed it in the vacuum packs and they included the weight of the plastic too on top of that. Like these feckers, they're ruthless. So it goes on to here. It goes on here to say that a woman who was caught bringing over €250,000 worth of cannabis into the country is being jailed for 2.5 years. Like God damn it, man, 2.5 years for this mother. Really, can you blame her? Like the risk reward here. She was probably going to make quite a bit of money here. Like she might have been getting paid a couple of thousand. And again, she's a single mother. It does say that up here, yeah. A single mom, yeah. So just think about that. You're a single mom. You're down and out. You're really struggling, maybe. But I'm only just playing, um, whatever, But yeah, I'm just trying to, what's that word? I'm stuck for that word. Terrorizing. Let's just say I'm terrorizing here. This woman, Elizabeth Locke, 56. She's 56 years of age too. Like, she's in the later years of her life. As a single mom, maybe her daughter is just turning 18, 21, maybe a little bit older and is getting married. Maybe she's seen an opportunity here to get her daughter, set up for a nice wedding or a nice present. Who knows? But again, all she was doing was bringing cannabis into the country. Like, guys, when that cannabis reached the ground here and reached its final destination, which is me or you, are we going to be disappointed? Are we going to be, like, upset about what she done? Are we going to be affected negatively? No. As long as we're not getting ripped off by who we're buying her off of, as long as whoever we're buying her off of hasn't actually contaminated with other shit, it's crazy. So Dublin's Criminal Circuit Court heard that the drug dog had given an indication on her bags, and when they searched, 30 bags were found. €270,460 was the valuation. She was arrested and told Gardaí that a third party had given her the bag in Canada and directed her to hand it over to another party. Locke, with an address in Ontario, Canada, said that she didn't know what was in the bag and believed she was transporting precious metals to Ireland as part of a scheme to avoid tax. She told Gardaí she answered a job posting online was in financial difficulties. There you go, guys. I hadn't even got that far, but my theory was correct. She was in financial difficulties and seen an opportunity here. And again, she was a bit naive. She was naive. Like, do you know how many women or men even, do you know how many people do you know out there who would be desperate and naive? They would be desperate enough to be naive enough to trust the person, oh yeah, there's only metals in the bag, and not actually check. Again, she was getting paid, and again, I wasn't far off the value of what she was getting paid here either. It was $10,000. €6,600. So again, I wasn't far off. Geez, I'm getting good at these theories. She was sent forward to the Dublin District Court on signed pleas of guilty for possession and importation of controlled drug for sale and supply. Sentencing her was Judge Orla Crow. Again, another lady, and maybe another, potentially a mother here. Like, you'd think she would have a little bit of sympathy. That there's none, like, All right, maybe someone might say, oh, a 2.5 year sentence was sympathetic, but really? Judge Orla Crow said the considerable amount of drugs involved and the fact that Locke carried it out for financial gain were aggravating factors. Really aggravating factors. This is a very grave offence. It's not. It's cannabis, guys. We would have been really happy if it reached its final destination, to be fair. If it got the kids, that's fucking prohibitionists' fault. That's our policymakers' fault, for not regulating this properly. She added that the drugs have a devastating effect on our communities. No, they don't. Prohibition has a devastating effect on our communities. Come on, get off it. Like, so frustrating. It really is. Like, they can't be this ignorant, really. Like, come on. How long is Judge Orla Crow sitting there in that chair, criminalising people for this, and still keep thinking that it's going to make a difference? Not seeing, like, the people being brought forward before. Quite often, like, guys, I've been in the court before. I'm not lying about this, but quite often or not, these people are from like people who might be on like social welfare or from working class, low paid like families. That's it. Like, it's far and few between the people who you see coming in there who are really from well off areas and stuff like that, well to do families and stuff. Quite often or not, in my own experience, when I got stopped and searched by the guards, it was because I was from in a particular area. It was because I was related to a particular person who might have been known for drug dealing, because I was related. And that was a reason enough to stop and search me. Ah, ridiculous. Like prohibition has a far more devastating effect in our communities because even in my own experience that time, I had there was a wedge between me and the Gardaí. I couldn't trust the guards, and I seen that in many of my friends at that time. Young friends, young vulnerable teenagers, teenagers who really needed proper guidance in life because, unfortunately, because of their growing up, because they were probably in single parent families, broken homes, and all sorts of things that would set them off in life, at a disadvantage. They really needed to actually be able to engage with these Gardaí who should be there to help them and maybe guide them more positively. But because of this prohibition, the guards were the enemy. They were the pigs, so you couldn't trust them. Rats, this sort of mentality is developed in these younger kids because of prohibition. At least in my experience, that's when I started actually not liking the guards. It was around that time, when I started experimenting a little bit with hash. That's what it was, soap bar at the time. Started listening to a little bit of rap. And again, when you listen to rap, a lot of the rap is about gang violence. And again, gang violence, prohibition, very much at the root of that. uh, Anyway, the judge took into account a number of mitigating factors, including the fact that Locke has medical difficulties, has no previous convictions, and pleaded guilty to the offence. She handed down a 3-year sentence and suspended the final 6 months. In reality, come on, the judge should have handed down a 3-year sentence and suspended it in its entirety as long as she went out of the country again. Let's say that would have been a really sympathetic way to actually see this, though. That would have been, taken into account the mitigating factors. The fact that she's a single mum, was down and out in her luck, she's seen the opportunity, she was naive, she made a mistake, no previous convictions, 3 years sentence, suspended, as long as you just go out of the country, and if you come back here again, you better not be transporting drugs. During an interview, Locke accepted she was reckless, but maintained she didn't know what was in the bag, nor the cannabis is illegal in Ireland. Again, you think about that too. Even if she knew cannabis was in the bag, she probably was maybe silly enough to think, oh yeah, it's legal in Ireland too. They have medical cannabis here. Sure, we have a medical cannabis access program. But I don't know, unfortunately. No previous convictions and has been in custody since her arrest. When was that? When was she arrested? When was this actually take place? The March 27th. She's been in custody since March 27th. Oh, horrible, man. My heart breaks for this lady and her family back home, worrying about their mother, who should be back with them now. The investigating Garda agreed with Michael Bowman, defending that his client comes across as somewhat naive. Guys, I did not read this article beforehand, but but was forthcoming during the interview. Again, a very genuine person, naive enough to make the mistake, to believe, trust untrustworthy people who took advantage of her naivety. Unfortunately, this is prohibition. Prohibition enables, people who are rootless to prey upon naive individuals, individuals, again, who might be down and out in their luck and desperate there. The Garda agreed Locke is a single mother with a long work history, often working 3 jobs at a time to provide for her now adult son, who has additional needs but has graduated college. Man, this woman, seriously, should not be in prison. Seriously, let's hit the ball, because that really gets me. Shout out to all 20 people out there on YouTube, the one over on Twitch. Howdy, guys. But yeah, guys, I don't know how you're feeling about that article, but that really got me there towards the end. Because, a lot of what I theorized there, it was, really true, but, I was, really looking at, the extreme of it, and, unfortunately, it is the extreme. She was a really good person, unfortunately, naive, desperate. Prohibition. And the judge, what she done was destroying our communities, blah, blah, blah. What the judge is doing is effed. That's what's effing our communities. Final hit. But really, I hope the justice system sees sense and releases this lady. Our prisons are full, guys. Think about that. Our prisons are full and we're occupying a space with this lady. A threat to nobody. Bobby says, what you smoking on? That's some Quicks, Bobby, actually, from Exotic Genetics. And it is delicious. Got a little bit grinded up. Our green screen won't be friendly to this at all, unfortunately. But if you could only smell this, if you had smell-o-vision out there, it's delicious. But let's finish this and let's quickly wrap up the news. And I'm going to go in and mash some poppies. The kids are off to the circus this evening with their mother. And I'm going to be staying. Well, actually, yeah, two of the kids are going home, and I'm staying at home with the younger one, the youngest, who can't go to the circus because it'll be probably a bit too loud for her. It was further accepted that while Locke knew what she was doing wasn't kosher, she believed it was about tax avoidance and became upset when she told she had been carrying drugs. Again, tax avoidance in reality, like, if we think about it, it's actually probably a bit worse than bringing cannabis into the country. Like, our government doesn't have in place a system where they can collect tax from the sale of cannabis, and that's their own loss, and it's kind of our loss too, as we pay for the prohibition. But really, overall, man, you think about tax avoidance and what that could do to the country when you think about it on a much larger scale too, that's very bad. And that should be actually really criminalised to the fullest extent of the law in certain cases when it's extreme. But anyhow, look, I digress. The Garda agreed that Locke is a single mother. We talked about this. Actually, the court heard that Locke had to give up work due to mental health difficulties and found herself in financial difficulty. The Garda agreed with Mr. Bowman that Locke looked for gig work and told him she was prepared to do what it took to keep her home for her son, including escort work. So this lady was considering selling her body to look after her son, but she got an alternative. Carry the suitcase to Ireland, avoid some tax there, heavy metals. Not a bother, actually, yeah, so I don't have to get fucked by a load of dudes, random dudes, paying me probably not really what she wants. Or get on an airplane, carry a suitcase, gets paid $10,000 for it. How long's that going to take? Like 1 or 2 days? Unfortunately, instead of fucking getting fucked selling her bodies, where she wouldn't have probably ended up in prison, she's now getting effed by the justice system here in this country, by the judge, by the guards, all people who should really be protecting vulnerable people, naive people. They should be really protecting them when they don't actually pose a threat to our society. Like, their naivety isn't really a threat to us. Unless, like, they were carrying a bomb or something and the plane blew up. Like, then that's a different story. But it was cannabis, guys. Come on. Mr. Bowman said his client is someone who presents as naive, vulnerable, but honest. A letter of apology, references, and other documents were handed to the court. His client acknowledges she made an enormous error of judgment. She's doing well in custody and on an enhanced prisoner regime, though has some health issues. Mr. Bowman asked the court to consider his client's early guilty pleas, her cooperation with Gardaí, and her personal circumstances. He noted cannabis is legal in Canada and Locke would never have knowingly transported drugs into Ireland. Ah, man. Prohibition is a right. C-U-N-T. Seriously, like, it can really just go F off. Like, guys, you want to see reasons that, like, motivate me to continue with this mission to seek prohibition ended in this country? I have 4 kids that are going to be growing up. One of them is like 17, almost an adult now, going out there. I want to see our guards far more effective than what they currently are. How much time, effort is gone into prohibition, drug prohibition overall? Because, again, while I'm voicing my opinions here on cannabis prohibition, because look, the show is centered around cannabis, I make it no secret, I support ending drug prohibition overall. Truly, drug prohibition. And again, the reason being, I have 4 kids growing up in society, and I believe ending drug prohibition is going to make our authorities, our guards here in this country, far more effective at what they should be doing, protecting us, keeping us safe. So, with that being said, guys, gonna start wrapping her up. Forgive me if I was not seeing everybody's comments coming in there over on the hot box. Again, forgive me for maybe getting a little bit choked up there throughout that piece, because that's hard to really just take in without, like, just strikes a nerve. It's probably this fucking epilepsy medication I'm on as well. This epilepsy medication I'm on currently has a side effect where if you're experiencing, it says negative emotions, like it talks about depression and suicidal thoughts, that it's probably not for you because it could make those enhanced. I also believe it's probably enhanced my compassion, my empathy, because I do believe that I'm a fairly empathetic person, and I really feel what others might be feeling, and I think that's actually after being enhanced by these anti-seizure medication. Right, let's pack one final bowl. Let's quickly bait through any comments that might need addressing, and let's wrap this up. As I say, if they go in and mash some poppies. Thought I would have got this done in 20, but it looks like we're hitting 30 now, are we? Boom. So, where are the comments gone? Ah, there we go. Finished off there by Baron's comments. Baron says, don't drink or take any other drugs. He says, you remember the Dutch experience in Stockport. I helped there till the end. Fair play, Baron, man. Or woman. Bernheim Martin, have you seen there has been a new case brought against Little Collins? Saw they tweeted about it a week or two ago. I do believe, actually, you're refreshing my memory on that, actually. I must check that out. But it could be a case where, because the case is going on so long, they might have to drop it and restart the case or something like that. I think there was something like that happened with a buddy of mine there recently in a Cork court in regards to cannabis growing. Barron says they'll always lump all drugs together. Indeed, because it's easy for them. Makes it easier for them. Adam O'Brien says Cullen Burke TD needs a slap. His ignorance certainly needs to be slapped away anyway. Mr. Finnegan says prohibition prevents progress. He does indeed. And Mr. Phelan also says, imagine training those dogs to track a person's scent and they good aid in missions, person cases. 100%, Mr. Finnegan. Mountain rescue, etc. instead of being trained to ratting people. Man, you're dead right. And again, just going back to my own situation with epilepsy, it's actually possible to train a dog to be able to detect when a person is about to have a seizure, and it can give that person enough of a notice, an indication to where they're able to sit down and get the risk of falling, decrease the risk of falling, which is a quite substantial risk to people who suffer with epilepsy, because if you fall and bait your head, it's no bueno. Serenable, what's happening? He says, and I love it, boys. Love the weed. Rat, I hate the guards. The army garden, don't care. Garda here, you are arrest. I'm taking names. What's happening, Keith? He says, what's up? Mr. Finnegan says, on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We're getting her out there, guys. Multi-stream all the way. Rusty Nail says, I'd like to get started with my first grow tent. Any recommendations on where to get seeds online? Low THC strains, preferably. Check out Cork Herbal Products, actually. He's got a nice selection of seeds up there, ranging in THC. I don't know how low you want to go, but certainly if you reach out to Cork Herbal Products, I'm sure he's got a catalogue of stuff you can order in if what you like isn't actually up there on the site. What's happening, Green Tea? Hey, GT out there. Do check out the interview between myself and Green Tea. It was a great interview. Really enjoyed the conversation. Green Tea's a legend, and hope all is well. Mr. Oez out there as well. Says hi everybody. Great to see you back online, Martin. And it's great to be back online. Although I'm probably going to get killed when I go in now because maybe a little bit behind schedule on the dinner. And yeah, Mr. Finnegan giving a shout out there to Cork Herbal Products also. And I see Rusty Nails thanking him already. John bait me to it. Peace out, Bobby. Yes, yeah, we're going to be wrapping up here. We've the bowl of civil disobedience and the torch of freedom ready Just getting to the last of the comments before we say our final goodbyes. That's that. Some protective wear, some wear protective hats. Says Billy Bonds. What's happening, Billy? Um, Nice one. What's happening, Gary? I see Gary out there as well. All right, so guys, for those just joining, we're just wrapping her up, guys. About to hit the last ball before we say our final goodbyes. Um, Nice one, everybody, for checking in. Thanks, everybody who's continued to be a follower of the show. Again, my apologies for being a bit inactive over the last couple of months, but again, you know, priority is family. Family is number one to me, and I make no secret of that as well. I get on here as I can. Really happy to be able to make it back on her, and I pray, you know, I hope that I can continue being back on her too. Also, a final bit of news. Should have said this a bit earlier too. I'm back in court this day next week, which is why I chose to go streaming on Wednesdays. Seems that they keep bringing me back to court on Wednesdays, so I think it's a good day maybe to go with the 420 news for now. So again, expect me back on here um, every Wednesday from here on out. Please go ahead. Ooh. Wow. That tastes so bloody nice. It's hard to really put the finger down on it, like, but oh, it's just got such a lovely taste. Nice one, John. Keep her busy there, John. So again, guys, nice one, everybody, for jumping in there, guys and gals. I'm gonna say goodbye. Get in there, sort out the dinner and the family, and hopefully see you all again next week, guys. So do stick it into the calendar, and stay blazed, guys. Keep it lit. Much love. Bye bye. And which one do we sign off with? It's been so long. Oh, this is the one. Bye bye, guys.